Did you get out of a relationship with the narcissist and the next day they were with someone else? Did you get a divorce from the narcissist because they were already cheating on you? Did you get away from that toxic relationship and find out 2 days later that the trip that you were going to go with them, they took another person in a romantic, in a cheating way, however you want to put it? You see, a lot of times people realize as soon as the relationship breaks apart, falls apart, and gets away from each other, that they've been replaced. And they've been replaced really, really fast. And it's really hard for a lot of people to wrap their head around, like, how in the world could this person replace me? We had 7 years together. How did they just replace me like that? And you start to wonder and you start to play it out in your mind of like, I don't get it. I don't understand. And it starts to make you question and doubt your own sanity, your own thought process, your own worth. Because if I was worth anything, why would this person do this? Why would they go to someone else? The thing you have to know and the thing you have to understand is the narcissist has already replaced you. And you're just finding out about it now. For those of you that are in a narcissistic relationship that is not self-aware, is not healing, is not changing, is not being honest, is not being vulnerable, then I want to let you know that typically you're already replaced. You just haven't found out about it yet. If you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel, provide awareness, growth, healing, and change. And I'm on here to be able to drop small nuggets of truth every single platform. So if you don't follow TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, just look up Raw Motivations. Listen on the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Would love to have you like, rate, review, share an episode so that someone else can hear what's actually going on and try to gain that awareness of something that they're actually going through. If you haven't had a chance, go to narcapp.com, N-A-R-C-A-P-P, narcapp.com. That is where it houses the idea of being able to show you what the NARC app actually is. To be able to walk you through some of the courses, some of the community, some of the accountability, to be able to engage in weekly lives and monthly coaching to help you grow, heal, change, and develop. Because that's what we're on here for. And it's a great way to be able to connect you with people that have been through the same stuff. Because a lot of times you've been isolated. You've been isolated from your friends, from your family, and even the people that you talk to now, they're getting tired of like hearing about the narcissist. And you're like, but I got to talk to someone who understands. Check out the NARC app. That's what we're trying to build to be able to help you as you grow, heal, and change. narcapp.com. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, then just go to rawmotivations.com. We'd love to help you through your healing journey. I coach a lot of people on a week-to-week basis, trying to help them progress and move forward in their journey from the crazy making, from the confusion, from the narcissist, to getting clarity as you continue to grow, heal, and change. Okay? A lot of times when we're talking about you leaving the narcissist, breaking up, you get discarded, anything like that, and they replace you like really quick. Okay, you'll see it quickly replaced time and time again. It might be 1 day later, it might be 1 hour later, it might be a week later, but a lot of times it's very, very fast. You're like, holy cow, like why? Why did they do this? Like, how could they have done this? Did I not mean anything? Was I not worth anything? Well, the thing you have to understand is the narcissist doesn't think about that at all. Like, they don't care about your intrinsic value or not. They just care about themselves. And so oftentimes you'll see it happen really, really quick. A lot of times people like even ask me just like, oh, your wife left you, that's why you started to change. No, my wife left me and I called someone that day. Like you need to understand that that replacement is really quick to try to find supply as fast as possible, to try to lock in someone else who's going to adore or respect or put you on a pedestal, like all those types of things. The narcissist is looking for that supply. Sometimes you'll hear it get phrased in a different way or get shown in a different way of like, hey, we should probably separate so I can go work on myself. That's what a lot of times a narcissist will say. Like, I just need time by myself to work on me. Typically what that is that's, hey, I want to be free of seeing you and having that accountability and responsibility to another human being so I can go do the stuff that I want to do. And oftentimes that means go cheat. A lot of times the narcissist will end up replacing you instead of being honest with you. Instead of being honest about the stuff that they're feeling or doing or working through. You see this a lot of times in the work environment of either firing, letting go, or having someone else promote because they're not willing to be honest about the stuff that is actually going on. Instead, it's easier just to replace you. It's easier just to move on. In the relationship, it's easier to replace you than it is for the narcissist to actually be honest of like, hey, like I don't know what's going on, but I'm not in love anymore. I'm not connected anymore, or I'm not whatever. but there's no level of communication and connection that happens. So as a result, they're like, I have this better communication with someone else. Let me go to them. They replace you. See, the thing you have to understand is replacement with a narcissist, it starts early. I would often say like a replacement with a narcissist can start from anywhere from 1 month to 2 years to 5 years. But average, I would say close to about 1 year to 2 years, it starts before it actually happens. You see, the narcissist wants to make sure that they have someone else locked in and lined up before they kick you out of their life. A lot of times this is covert in its implementation, in its style of being able to get someone prepped and get someone ready so that they're at the place of like, hey, now I can have this person. Now this person is locked in. And you see this time and time again with covert narcissists, especially ones that are cheating on their relationships with another person. They'll string that other person along for years without the fruition of it actually happening. You see, a narcissist, a lot of times in the relationship, they'll identify someone else. They'll identify a target. They'll identify someone else that they're going to be able to manipulate, that they're going to be able to interact with, and they'll start to cross paths with that person. They'll start to bump into them. They'll start to interact. They'll start to create a relationship. They'll start to create something that's going on there, a communication, an interaction, a connection point. They'll interact and they'll establish those interactions to be something that you get used to, that person gets used to, something that ends up feeling normal, feeling friendship, feeling on a certain level, and then it increases. A lot of times then they start to bring in the relationship that they're in into those interactions, communicating the relationship's problems. And they do that to establish trust of like, hey, like, this is really bad. Like, I'm struggling in my relationship. I don't know. Do you have any advice? And this is normally advice where they're asking of the opposite sex, if that's how they roll. Like, it's like the idea of like, hey, this is something that's wrong in this relationship that I'm bringing up to you. Now, the difference is it's not just of like, hey, I want to be able to get advice and go back and implement it. It's typically, hey, I want to get advice, or hey, I want to complain about it so that there's sympathy built. So that the other person starts to develop sympathy for this person. Of the narcissist is like, yeah, like it's a really bad relationship. And the other person's like, oh, I'm so sorry. That must be tough. And what it does is it slowly starts to deepen that relationship. It starts to build depth to it. So that it becomes more and more of a friendship, more and more of a relationship. And it gets to the place where they can start to badmouth the other person, and this person joins in, or this person even supports it. Like, I can't believe you have to deal with that awful person. What it does is it slowly builds a scenario for the narcissist to play victim, so that the other person is there trying to help save them from the relationship, from the non-narcissistic person. A covert narcissist a lot of times will create a scenario to try to be saved from, so that other people try, so that they can get with that other person, so they can manipulate that person, so they can control the outcome. A lot of times you'll have a narcissist that will start the pre-smear campaign, where they start to talk to your family, your friends, your neighbors, apart from what you know, and they start to put in small little digs, small little things that makes other people doubt your credibility and your vitality in that relationship of like, wait a second, this person isn't actually who they say they are. And the narcissist is like, I know, like I've been struggling. Like they're just so mean to me. And they'll start using examples of stuff that they're doing, but they'll slowly try to put a wedge. Then you'll have the discard or the reveal, and you'll end up separating. You'll end up divorcing, breaking apart, whatever it is. And then a lot of times you'll see that smear campaign come out to be able to show and prove and establish that you're the crazy one. Maybe you moved, maybe you left, maybe you got kicked out, vice versa. Now all of a sudden New Supply is able to step in right away to be able to save the narcissist from you. And the New Supply thinks, hey, like this is great. I can help this person. I can fix them. They had an awful marriage. Now I'm the one that's like the one. Like we're actually meant to be. We're soulmates. Like this is perfect. I'm going to help like save them and fix them. Not realizing that they're walking into the same trap that a lot of times you walked in to start off with. You see, a lot of times you have to realize that the narcissist is already working to be able to replace you. They're already working to be able to replace the things that they don't like about you, and they'll typically find another person and they'll replace you really quickly. Were you surprised they moved on with someone so soon? Were you surprised that they end up moving in with someone, being with someone that day, that hour, that next week, as soon as you guys parted or took a break or separated or anything like that? Were you surprised about that? The thing I want you to realize is that the narcissist already had replaced you. You just are now finding out about it. They already moved on a while ago when they were still with you. You're just finding out about it now.